Although our sense of smell may not be as highly developed as that of a dog, humans can smell a wide range of scents. A study in the journal Science found that humans can discriminate at least 1 trillion odors. However, scientists are still trying to understand how humans can distinguish between a good smell and a bad smell. One theory is that humans make this distinction based on chemical cues, while another theory proposed by researcher Val Curtis is that our disgust towards certain sights and smells is an adaptation that evolved to keep us from coming into contact with infection and disease. With this in mind, let us explore what literally makes life stink in this episode of the Infographics Show, 10 Worst Smells in the World. Before we resume, we just want to mention our sponsor of this video, Skillshare. You're about to learn about the top 10 worst smells in the world, but you know what really stinks? Not succeeding in life because you lack the skills to compete in today's high-paced society. Lucky for you, Skillshare has your back, with thousands of online classes that will help you hone existing skills or learn new ones. Premium membership will give you unlimited access to topics that will improve your skills and your life today. Join the millions of other people who are using Skillshare and get 2 months for free. To sign up, click the link in the description and start learning today. Now, let's get back to the video. Number 10. Skunk Spray. Most of us had heard the stories about how bad skunk spray smells, and some of us had had the unfortunate experience of smelling it firsthand. On Quora, one person who was sprayed by a skunk at close range described the smell as nauseating, noxious, putrid. While your brain is trying to process this sudden whiff of hell that has engulfed your olfactory system, your eyes will start pouring out tears, you may vomit, and you'll become dizzy and disoriented. What makes skunk spray smell so overwhelmingly bad? According to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, the primary stinky compounds are thiols and thioacetates, both rich in sulfur, the same element that makes rotten eggs gag-inducing. Sulfur atoms in these compounds form very stable bonds with other atoms, which is why skunk odor is so hard to get rid of. An interesting side note reported by one source is that thiols happen to be highly flammable too. Number 9. Lesser Anteater Spray. The lesser anteater is also known as the collared anteater and the southern tamandua. It's native to the forests of South America. Like the skunk, the lesser anteater emits its stinky spray from its anal glands when it feels threatened. While the smell of skunk spray is bad, the smell of lesser anteater spray is even worse. Some animal websites say it's about 4 to 7 times stronger than skunk spray, while others say it is 5 to 7 times stronger. Despite its highly stinky spray, a few people dare to keep lesser anteaters as their exotic pets. Number 8. Titan Arum, or Amorphophallus titanum. This large flowering plant is native to Sumatra and western Java. A Live Science article states that Titan Arum plants typically can grow to a massive 8 feet tall, and the leaves can be as big as 13 feet wide. It can take up to 7 years or longer for a Titan Arum plant to bloom, yet the bloom lasts for only 24 to 36 hours. While the Titan Arum bloom may look like a huge flower, it's actually what's called an inflorescence, which Live Science describes as a stalk with many flowers. There's a good reason why the Titan Arum is also called a corpse flower. While it blooms, it gives off a stench similar to rotting flesh in order to attract carnivorous insects that will pollinate the flower. According to Live Science, the smell and the dark burgundy color of the corpse flower are meant to imitate a dead animal to attract these insects. A chemistry website called Compound Interest states that several chemical compounds are responsible for the Titan Arum's death-like odor. These include dimethyl trisulfide, dimethyl disulfide, isovaleric acid, methylthiol acetate, and trimethylamine. Together, these chemical compounds create a dreadful combination of unpleasant scents: dead animal, garlic, sweaty feet, cheese, and dead fish. That has earned the Titan Arum or corpse flower a spot on our list. Number 7. Rotten food. Most of us had had the unpleasant experience of discovering old food that looks and smells like a lab experiment. We are so often in a hurry to throw out the rotting food that we don't think what could cause its horrible odor. According to one science website, the scent of rotting food is most often due to the growth of spoilage microbes, such as bacteria, yeasts, and mold. The smell could be the result of chemicals produced by the decomposition process, or they're produced directly by the microbes themselves. Different spoilage microbes can produce different odors. For example, molds give off musty, earthy aromas as they break down food, while some yeasts produce sulfur compounds that resemble human flatulence. Some of the worst-smelling foods in the world are the product of intentional instead of accidental spoilage. For instance, Icelandic haukark, which one source describes as rotten Greenland shark meat, has an overwhelming scent of ammonia. The shark meat has to be allowed to rot or ferment because fermentation lowers the toxin levels in the meat to a level safe enough for human consumption. And then there is surströmming, which is Baltic Sea herring that is fermented in barrels for 6 months. The scent of this rotten fish is so bad that the official Swedish government actually recommends that the tins of surströmming only be opened outdoors because of the massively rancid stench. Number 6. Garbage. The smell of garbage is often composed of many disagreeable odors caused by the decay of disagreeable substances. Just think about all of the things people throw out in the trash. Besides spoiled food, they toss out gross stuff like used cat litter, dead rodents caught in mouse and rat traps, and paper towels and rags used to clean up vomit, urine, and feces. Northern Colorado Disposal estimates that 18 billion used diapers are thrown away each year as well. Most garbage ends up in landfills, where they produce various foul-smelling gases. According to the New York State Department of Health, odors in landfill gas are caused primarily by hydrogen sulfide and ammonia, which are produced during breakdown of waste material. It notes that hydrogen sulfide has the foul smell of rotten eggs, while ammonia has a strong pungent odor. These gases are not only smelly, but they can create negative health effects as well. Exposure to high levels of hydrogen sulfide and ammonia in the air can cause coughing, irritation of the eyes, nose, and throat, headache, nausea, and breathing difficulties. Number 5. Human feces. Knowing the physical components of human feces can help you understand why it smells so bad. While a typical bowel movement is about 75% water, according to the GI Society, the other 25% is a mixture of things that include dead and living bacteria, food waste, undigested parts of foods, and substances contributed by the intestines and liver, such as mucus and bile. Besides waste products that your body can't break down, human feces can also contain smelly chemical compounds. It depends on what you eat. For instance, the GI Society notes that meat produces more smell than vegetables, and intestinal bacteria produce several sulfur-containing compounds that produce smelly hydrogen sulfide. Other objectionable odors come from fatty acids and scatole, a product resulting from the naturally occurring process of amino acids being broken down in the intestine. Number 4. Sewage. It's no surprise that raw sewage smells awful. If you thought your poop smelled bad, imagine how bad the poop of thousands or even millions of people smells when it ends up in the sewer. Besides all that poop, raw sewage contains things like urine, vomit, soap, cleaning products, used toilet paper, and wastewater from sinks and showers. As bacteria break down some of the organic compounds in raw sewage, they create sewer gas, which the City of Marion Water Pollution Control Department describes as a mixture of inorganic gases that can include hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen, and hydrogen. The department considers hydrogen sulfide as the odor culprit that makes sewer gas smell bad. Number 3. Gangrene. Gangrene smells bad because it involves what the Mayo Clinic describes as the death of body tissue. Some forms of gangrene involve bacterial infection, which create wretched odors and toxins as the bacteria feed upon your tissue. The bacteria will eventually kill the tissue if they're not stopped. An article about bad operating room smells note that gas gangrene, which bacteria infects and kills tissue with particular vigor, reeks. A medical student described the smell produced by Fournier's gangrene, a type of gangrene that affects the genital area, as the worst smell ever, like poop and sewage sludge and rot and dead stuff all rolled into one. Number 2. Dead human body. If a small part of someone's body reeks because it's being killed off by gangrene, it's reasonable to think the smell of an entire dead body is many times worse. Even if you don't see a dead human body, you may be able to smell one if it has been decomposing long enough. Think of those accidental discoveries of dead bodies because neighbors noticed an awful stench coming from someone's house or from the trunk of an abandoned car. One online magazine interviewed 20 people who have smelled a dead body. From their descriptions, you can tell the smell is quite revolting. One person described the smell as rotten eggs, feces, and used toilet left out for a month times 1,000, while another person noted a very sharp, foul smell, similar to horrible cheese, mixed with the same smell you get from a full trash can in the sun. What makes us stink so bad after we die? Microbes breaking down our bodies are to blame. For instance, a Guardian article reports that gut bacteria multiplies after we die because there's no functioning immune system to keep them in check. And this bacteria literally eats us from the inside out. They feed on the body tissues, fermenting the sugars in them to produce gaseous byproducts such as methane, hydrogen sulfide, and ammonia, which accumulate within the body, inflating or bloating the abdomen, and sometimes other body parts too. During the decomposition process, several foul-smelling chemical compounds are also produced to create what one source calls the stench of death. One of them is cadaverine, which is responsible for the foul smell of rotting flesh and is also found in urine and semen. Another chemical is putrescine, which smells fairly similar to cadaverine and contributes to bad breath odor. Finally, there are scatoli and indoli, which are major components of feces. But that's not all. According to a Daily Mail article, researchers have found a cocktail of 5 chemical compounds given off by decomposing bodies that are unique to human flesh when compared to other animals. These compounds are called esters, which the researchers described as degradation products of muscles, fat tissue, and carbohydrates. The 5 esters have fruity smells. For instance, propylhexanoate is a chemical used to recreate the smell of pineapples and blackberries, while 3-methylbutylpentanoate has a ripe apple odor. However, these results are based on small tissue samples rather than whole bodies, and it's possible that decomposition in the outside environment may also influence the smell. Number 1. Other dead animals. Many other animals go through a process of decomposition similar to humans after they die. The science journal Nature notes the presence of chemical byproducts such as ammonia, cadaverine, hydrogen sulfide, and putrescine as their bodies decay. Some animals that smelled bad in life smell even worse than humans in death. For example, if you thought skunk spray was bad, try getting a whiff of fresh skunk roadkill on a hot June day. You get a double whammy of smelly thiols from the skunk spray and the odor of a rotting carcass baking in the sun. Other dead animals create an overwhelming stench that can be worse than that of a dead human, simply because of their large size. Dead beached whales are a good example. They are literally what one article calls tens of thousands of pounds of foul-smelling, decomposing flesh. According to forensic toxicologist Wolfgang Weinmann, dead whales also bloat like other animals, mostly because of putrefaction and fermentation. And there have been some instances where whales will spontaneously explode because of a heavy buildup of gases that form during the decomposition process. One well-known whale explosion occurred in 2004 in Tainan, Taiwan. BBC reported that passers-by and cars were soaked in blood and body parts were sprayed over a road after the bursting of a whale. One resident remarked, "What a stinking mess. This blood and other stuff that blew out on the road is disgusting, and the smell is really awful." Is there another bad smell that you think should be added to the list? Let us know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out our other video called "Weapons Even the Military Made Illegal." Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time!